Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is Gold MF Michael Fletcher alongside Anthony Floya. We welcome you to another edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk live on YouTube and StreamYard.com. All right. Now, normally I would have we'll cover SmackDown Live, we'll do AEW Collision, and we were gonna do Crown Jewel. But the thing is this. WWE SmackDown was the go home show to the show, and it feels like why do it? Why do the show and then recap the show itself? So I'm calling an audible and I'm canceling SmackDown Live. That's out of the question. And I'm actually gonna also cancel out the AEW Collision because I felt like, you know what? It's not worth it. It should have been done Saturday. If we would have done it, then all right, fine. We're just going to focus on Crown Jewel. That's the show that I know everybody's talking about. That's the thing that's getting a lot of rave and a lot of thoughts and opinions. So we're going to give you that right now. And that's the only thing you're getting from us tonight. So, with that said, we're glad and we're honored that you guys are here tonight, as always. And with that said, Anthony Foyle, let's get down to business. So, WWE Crown Jewel going down yesterday afternoon, but last night over in Jet in Saudi Arabia, as it was held. Let me see if I can find the. Okay, so it was the Mohammed Abdul Arena, and that was in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. It was exclusively on Peacock in the United States, WWE Network around the world, and traditional pay-per-view for anybody who around who still has that access, still to this day. So if you did, congratulations, awesome, welcome to the party. So with that said, we do start it off. First fight of the night, pre-show match. We're not gonna go much into the pre-show. We hardly ever do pre-shows, but needs to be talked about. It was Sami Zayn versus JD McDonough. Sami Zayn winning the match in 9 minutes and 40 seconds. So it led us into the main card. Starting it off, Seth freaking Rollins versus Drew McIntyre for the World Heavyweight Championship. Winner of the bout, 18 minutes, 20 seconds, and still the World Heavyweight Champion, Seth freaking Rollins. Whoa!
Oh.
So, all right. I gotta say it. To me, fight of the night. Absolutely barn burner, incredible fight. I could not believe how this started. To me, this was the perfect opening to the show. The rumors came out earlier in the day that McIntyre and Rollins was going to start it off. We were a little tentative, a little hesitant. We're like, is this the right idea? Should they go down this road? Oh, yeah. They went down that road and absolutely marked it. There was no argument with me. There was no doubt about it in my mind. This was the fight of the night. It was not just 4.25. This was 4.5-star bout. This was absolutely what it needed it to be. An absolute it was a masterpiece of a match. No arguments with me here. 4.25 to 4.5. Fight of the night. Anthony Florio, it is all yours, bro.
All right. Thank you very much indeed, Gorilla MF Michael Fletcher. Hello, friends. Anthony Florio here with you for this special edition of Talking Wrestling TXN, our official recap of WWE Crown Jewel. Delighted to be here as always. Great to be here with you as always, MF, on this great night. And Wow. I'm right here with you. 4.5 stars. Fight of the night for me as well. Drew McIntyre came into this looking to right what he perceived as wrongs in his career, so he was not holding back. This contest kicked into high gear early and didn't slow down until it was time to start selling bigger bumps. And they did a great job of turning this into a David versus Goliath story, even though Seth Rollins wasn't giving up that much in size and weight. His established back injury came into play a couple of times, so we also had that working against him. Both men kicked out of each other's finisher as they worked toward the finish. It took a super kick, a pedigree, and a curb stomp for the Visionary to finally keep Scott down for the 3 count to end a fantastic bout. As Rollins sat in the ring looking hurt, Damian Priest came down and tried to cash in Money in the Bank. But Sami Zayn, like a thief in the night, came out of nowhere and attacked him before running off with the briefcase. Okay. It's basically a play on Jay White and MJF in AEW. The video packages were great, but it was more than 20 minutes between the end of the pre-show bout and the start of this match. Rollins tripped a little on his huge jacket, but didn't fall. The exchange of chops early in the match was a fun sequence. Drew McIntyre almost slipped when he tried to hit a belly-to-belly suplex. Rollins barely made the rotation. Great chemistry with these two. And, as a Raw guy, this was a very happy moment for me. I was a proud papa here, MF, because these are two of my favorites. Two guys who carried the frontline soldier label of Monday Night Raw. Rollins was there, in 18 and 19, and then McIntyre got us through the pandemic, and now Rollins is the frontline soldier again, and Drew really wanted that back, but unfortunately not to be. So, big win for Seth freaking Rollins. His reign continues on. Who's next for him? I don't know. We'll wait and see. Maybe we'll find something out tomorrow night. I don't know, but we'll see. 4.5 stars for me. This was indeed the fight of the night on my end. So there isn't much more to say here except MF. Let's keep the Raw action going. We go from the men's world championship to the women's world championship. Fatal 5-way rules here.
I apologize. I forgot to unmute my mic. Fatal 5-way, definitely, no doubt about it. The champion, Rhea Ripley, putting the title on the line against Nia Jax, Raquel Rodriguez, Shayna Baszler, Zoe Stark, winner of the bout in 11 minutes and 5 seconds, and still the the WWE Women's World Champion. It was the Eradicator. You could say the leader of the Judgment Day. Rhea Ripley successfully defends the title. So, Anthony Floyo, it's yours.
When it comes to Judgment Day, Rhea Ripley is the tribal chief, and we all need to acknowledge her. So, I damn sure I am. I'll tell you what, even though there were 3 other women in the squared circle, this bout sometimes felt like it was all about Rhea Ripley and Nia Jax. Zoe Stark, Shayna Baszler, and Raquel Rodriguez were good additions to the match, though. You could see all 5 competitors putting everything they had into this performance, which was necessary after the banger we witnessed before it. The crowd being so into everything helped keep the energy high in the Muhammad Abdul Arena. Ripley was able to retain her title by slamming Zoe Stark onto Raquel Rodriguez and Shayna Baszler with a super riptide from the middle rope to end a decent match with plenty of memorable moments. Baszler putting Rhea Ripley, Nia Jax, and Raquel Rodriguez in 3 submissions at the same time was a great spot. How is Shayna Baszler not being used more on television is beyond me. But then again, NXT, she was amazing in NXT. Main roster, she hasn't had that many moments, and which I think is criminal because I realized the talent and the potential Shayna Baszler had going back to the Ultimate Fighter days when she was on Ronda Rousey's team on that show. For goodness sake, you think I didn't notice it back then? Huh?
Well, I think the reason why was because remember who is running creative. Triple H was running creative in NXT. That's why she got such a platform. once she went into the main roster, remember it was McMahon that was running it, and
Exactly.
you remember his complete and utter disdain for some of the NXT talent.
Absolutely.
So, but
Absolutely.
now with Hunter running, maybe we might start noticing her more on a regular basis.
Hopefully so. Hopefully she'll get at least one run with the title down the road. That's what I want to see personally. She should have had one already, but you know, it is what it is. But that's the only minor gripe I have about it. But this was a solid 3.25 star match, and outcome never in doubt. We all knew Rhea Ripley was going to win it, and what's next for Mommy? I don't know. We'll have to find out. But the only thing I do know is that we don't even have to wait until our year-end awards. We already know that she will be very likely our female wrestler of 2023, and it's not even close. Not even close.
I mean, maybe you can make an argument for it to possibly, at least in AEW, maybe Saraya, but even that, that's kind of wishful thinking right now. As a matter of fact, the only one who maybe even you could even make an argument for to even have a shot would be Trinity from Impact Wrestling or TNA. But like I said, that's just us kind of trying to make an argument for it. But as far as who's the most deserving or who's probably going to walk away with this, it's Rhea. There's no argument here. Rhea Ripley is the female wrestler of the year, and anybody who tells you otherwise is a freaking moron. I'm just saying. So,
100% agree.
I'm not. Normally I'm not. I wouldn't be very, animated about certain things, but I mean, it's common sense, ladies and gentlemen. Rhea Ripley has been the greatest thing in WWE, and as a matter of fact, the greatest thing in wrestling, bar none. This entire year has been the evolution of Rhea Ripley from being, a good star to now she's a mega star. She is the biggest thing in WWE. I'll go and say it. I know I'm going to get a lot of heat for it. I don't give two shits. Bigger than Charlotte Flair, bigger than Bianca Belair, bigger than Becky Lynch, bigger than any woman on that roster. And then bigger than any star on AEW, bigger star than anybody in Impact Wrestling. So right now, if you really want my argument, you want my thoughts, my true sentiment, you're looking at practically the it girl of professional wrestling right now. And it's not even close.
Not even close. No. Absolutely not. So that's really all I can say on it. So solid 3.25 stars is my rating for it. So MF, what's next for Mommy? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, maybe because I kind of feel like they're probably setting it up for maybe that this would be a match between her and Becky Lynch. I know there's rumors about that possibly for WrestleMania. That could be one. There's also another one who just signed. Maybe Jade Cargill?
Oof.
I know that's I know Jade is probably not the one, but could you imagine Rhea Ripley and Jade Cargill go at it?
That's a big woman fight.
That would be one of the most highly anticipated fights that we've won. That would be one of the most highly anticipated matches we would have had for in a very long time.
I'll be a woman fight, no doubt about it.
Yeah. So,
but as far as Jade is concerned, though, MF, I mean, when it comes to Jade Cargill, I mean, the big money match right now is her and Bianca. That's the big money match.
I agree with that. And speaking of Bianca, we'll get into her because something happened with her, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. Right. So, next up, Solo Sikoa going one-on-one with John Cena. Solo Sikoa wins the match in 16 minutes and 10 seconds. That's not the big story. He beat him clean. There was no interference. This was a straight up mugging on John Cena. Solo Sikoa used the ambionic spike on multiple times on Cena and laid him out to finish the fight. This was very interesting storytelling, because A, the magnitude of who the opponent was, B, the way that Solo won the match, and C, what this will mean for Solo Sikoa now. Solo Sikoa got the ultimate rub last night. He absolutely is now a factor in WWE. And not only that, but if they ever wanted it to put a possible matchup between him and Roman Reigns, I know that's wishful thinking, but if they ever wanted it to have him break away from the bloodline and do his own thing, you can already tell Solo Sikoa is going to be a monster, and he is going to be a problem in WWE. A lot of people is wondering, is this the last we're going to see of John Cena? I hope not. I want to see Cena. Cena needs to get a win. Now, I don't mind him putting over the younger talent, because that was one of the narratives that was perpetrated by the internet goons, by the idiotic internet geeks, the marks, as a couple of people would say, like how, oh, Cena uses the golden shovel now. He's like Triple H. He'll never put the younger talent over. It was always about him. Yeah, well, later in his life, definitely in the tail end of his career, he's putting a lot of younger talent in there. What's your excuse now, assholes? So that's, for Cena to do that is just unbelievable. And like I said, Solo Sikoa has been getting a major rub lately. LA Knight's been benefiting from a major rub because of John Cena. One other person we can also talk about who's also gotten a rub because of John Cena, Grayson Waller, and on top of that, Austin Theory. Look at the guys that Cena has put over in the last, at least the last year or so. And all these guys have gotten rubs in one way or another. It's just, how's it going to look? What is it going to be? We don't know. But one thing's for sure, Solo looked amazing last night. This was probably one of his better matches that he's had. And like I said, the win itself is gonna create quite a story and then some. Nothing more to say. I'll say about 3 to 3.5 stars. And Anthony, it's yours.
3.5 to 3 3/4 of a star. This, I'll tell you what. Unfortunately, the match suffered a bit from the slower pace because it went on for too long like that. Just give me a minute here. Okay. All right. Yeah, match suffered a bit from the slower pace because it went on for too long like that. Cena would occasionally try to get in a few moves, but his attempts were stalled too quickly to get the crowd worked up. This match was clearly booked to make Sikoa look like a monster, and it worked. But dominance makes no difference if the contest itself isn't living up to its potential. The last few minutes were a bit more exciting once Cena started stringing together more moves. Sikoa drilled him with 4 amniotic spikes, but refused to make a cover. He picked Cena's head up and hit him with several more spikes before finally covering him for the win. Biggest win of Solo Sikoa's career. Hopefully, WWE capitalizes on his momentum for this. Or from this, rather. It wasn't easy to notice, but the ring was a little more elevated than usual. You could see it when Cena and Sikoa were outside of it, standing next to the apron. And Solo Sikoa may have a lot in common with Umaga, but seeing him face Cena really illustrates how much bigger Umaga was. So, definite be a man fight here. I'm a little surprised. I mean, I thought with the way they were building Cena up, I thought maybe that they were going to finally give Cena a win back here, but no. Cena puts over another younger talent, and I know a lot of people are saying, yeah, where was this like 15 years ago? Where was this? 10, 15 years ago, where was this? But and one talent in particular, Wade Barrett. But that's just that's another story. But nonetheless, 3.5, 3 3/4 of a star. So there's no question about it, MF. And you should have mentioned this beforehand. Biggest win of Solo's career? Hello. Look who Solo just beat. He beat the greatest of all time. Someone who soon enough will get the keys to the Hall of Fame. And who knows? Maybe that could be as early as maybe this upcoming year. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. But soon enough, John Cena will be in the WWE Hall of Fame. And you can only imagine what that scene's going to be like when he does go in, which could be as early as this upcoming year. You don't know. But 3.5, 3 3/4, biggest win of Solo's career. So MF, like I said, biggest win of Solo's career. Hopefully Papa H and company can capitalize from this.
Yeah, we shall see. We shall see. All right. So we do indeed move on. Next up we had was the United States Heavyweight Championship on the line. The champion Rey Mysterio, the challenger Logan Paul, winner of the bout in 17 minutes and 55 seconds. And new United States Heavyweight Champion Logan Paul didn't do it the honorable way, did it a little dirty. One of his cronies came out, looked like he was going to use the brass knucks. Santos Escobar basically came out to thwart that idea. Interesting thing happened though. Santos had the knucks and then put it on the inside the ring, right near the apron. Lo and behold, Logan saw that, grabbed the knucks. He got hit with the 619. Ray goes for dropping the diamond and gets decapitated with a fist to the face, thanks to the knucks, knocks him out. 1, 2, 3, new champion crowned. I mean, the one thing that really got annoyed with me, not that Logan won the belt, Anthony.
No.
What the hell were you thinking, Santos Escobar? Why did you leave the knucks in the ring? Something seems afoot. And I think what it is I'm gonna say it.
Rat. I smell a rat.
It's a rat. It's not a rat. He's goddamn jealous that it wasn't him being the United States Heavyweight Champion. And if it's not going to be him, then it wasn't going to be anybody else. There's a little jealousy going on, Florio, in the LWO, and definitely Santos Escobar definitely smells like mulatto, as they would say.
Ha! Finally, you see it my way. Finally, Monsoon. All right. I knew you'd see it. I knew you'd finally come around. Ha! I knew I wasn't the only one smelling a rat here. We'll get more into that in just a minute. I'll tell you. You could see a look on Logan's face as Mysterio was making his entrance, and it made him look a little nervous, which is not something he has shown in his previous appearances. They started with a simple exchange of holds and counters. You could see some improvements to Logan Paul's game, despite still being a bit green in places. They were forced to work a certain way due to Logan Paul's limitations. But they did a great job making sure both men looked good, even though this never quite reached the level of excitement Mysterio's matches are known to produce. What was that time of the fall again? 15 minutes, 16 minutes?
Hold on. I gotta. Oh, that's okay. That's okay. See, 1755.
Well, then 4 stars. Veteran was more than up to the task of helping Logan Paul fill in the gaps in his game. Pairing the social media star with competent performers has allowed him to learn from some of the best in high-profile situations. So he has picked up a lot of skills in a short amount of time. What Paul lacks in experience, he more than makes up for with a willingness to perform spots nobody expects from him, which helped to make this match more enjoyable as it went along. Santos Escobar showed up, but he was unable to prevent Logan Paul from using a set of brass knuckles to hit his knockout punch and score the win to become the new United States Heavyweight Champion. Yeah, you heard that right. You heard that right. Let's see. And Logan Paul's rolling senton into a springboard moonsault looked good, and Logan Paul hitting a moonsault fallaway slam into a pinfall was the most unexpected thing in that bout. It's a solid 4 stars for me. I'm not surprised with the outcome, and now we're gonna have to deal with this, unfortunately. But it could be setting up for something really special come WrestleMania. So we'll see what happens. So solid 4 stars for me, 4 to 4.25 stars for this. Not much more to say here. MF, unfortunately, our worst nightmare is a reality. This turd is now the United States Heavyweight Champion.
I mean, this is like I said, it just was one of those situations. It was fine. I got nothing else to say, so we'll just move right on along. So with that said, 4 stars is the rating, and it is the correct rating, folks. So, hold on. Sorry, I was just trying to.
While you get adjusted, MF, I did wanted to. There was one other point I wanted to make, and that is, as someone I'm the professor of this show and an unofficial historian of professional wrestling, and
Yes.
and all I can say is I'm honestly not thrilled about seeing this pretty boy turd holding a championship that has so much lineage and legacy behind it. I mean, a championship that came into existence back in 1975, and the legends and Hall of Famers who have held that title, like the very first champion, the late great Harley Race in 1975, the Nature Boy Ric Flair, who won it 6 times, more than anybody, John Cena, for example. Of course, the first one to hold the WWE version of it, the late great Eddie Guerrero, and Dusty Rhodes, and Tully Blanchard, and Magnum TA, and Bret the Hitman Hart, and Sting, and yes, I'll even say it, Chris Benoit, Rey, Rey Mysterio, and all of these great men who have held that United States Championship, and all the history and lineage and legacy behind it. A title that has almost 50 years of legacy with it. And I hate to say it, but that title has just been devalued in the worst possible way by putting it on this pretty boy turd. Period. End of statement, end of quotation. Go.
I will say that in a way, yes. I will say that it does take a little bit of the luster away. And then I know the guys were like, oh, but Mike Fletcher's gonna now have a problem on his hand, because now all of a sudden, with the title changing hands, and that's a SmackDown title, so now the belt's gonna be under, whatever you want to say. I don't, at the end of the day, that's kind of one of those type of situations where, it is what it is. We'll see how it plays out. But no, man, I mean, it was an interesting turn of events, and we'll go from there. So yeah. So all right, guys. So next up that we had on the show, it was the WWE Women's title on the line, as it was Io Sky putting it up against Bianca Belair, winner of the bout, 16 minutes and 35 seconds. Was Io Sky successfully defending the title? And the reason why she won it, well, first Bayley got involved, and then an unforeseen event. Somebody else has shown up. And this one, I knew she was coming. I did not think she was going to come back this fast. Former IWGP Women's Champion and former, I guess, and actually bestie of Io Sky. The Pirate Princess is back. Kairi Sane showed up in Saudi Arabia, and it took everybody by surprise. She was the reason why that she helped her out. Once that happened, there was the beatdown, and of course, we saw that insane elbow drop by Kyrie. Oh my freaking God. Did this change the game? Now the question becomes, what is damage control gonna do? Bailey looked at Kyrie like she had seen a ghost. She looked at her like, what the F are you doing here? So, and it looks like, especially in the eyes of Kyrie, game on. So, what does that mean? What is it gonna look like? What's the feel of it's gonna be? Who knows? But I will say this: if you're a fan of Kyrie Sane, you welcome her back with open arms. And my goodness, Papa H does it again. Another big signing, but this one was a welcomed one. Like I said, Kyrie Sane was the IWGP Women's World Champion over in New Japan Pro Wrestling. She lost the belt to Mercedes Moné, aka Sasha Banks, and the rumors started that she was going to be making her return to WWE. It wasn't until literally right after the fact that we found out that they were coming, and sure enough, rumors that she was going to make her return at Survivor Series, and that was the original rumor. But it is what it is, and my goodness, what an announcement! What a comeback for her to come back in Saudi Arabia the way she did. This was at least I would say about a 3.5-star bout. But Anthony Florio, the fallout from this it's even bigger because of the fact that Kyrie Sane has now returned, and there's even rumors about maybe a Kabuki Warrior reunion. Kyrie, Io, and maybe Asuka. If that happens, oh my God, does business pick up?
Business gonna pick up. That's what's gonna happen. I know you love foreshadowing, MF. I love it even more than you do. We'll get into the foreshadowing in just a moment. Let's get into the match first. As the bout progressed, both women started pulling out moves that we rarely see from them. Bailey showed up at ringside, but did not immediately have an impact. Io Sky ended up taking her out by mistake, but the role model still tried to help her by going after the EST. Kairi Sane showed up out of nowhere, took out Bianca while Sky was keeping the ref busy, and allowed Io Sky to hit a moonsault for the win. The second half of this match was a big step up from the first, but the return of Kairi Sane is going to be what everyone is talking about. 3.5 to 3 3/4 of a star. The Dragon Screw Io Sky hit looked nasty. Belair sold it perfectly. I do have one bit of constructive criticism. The crowd seemed tired or uninterested for most of this match, which is a damn shame because both of these women are great workers and great talents. Not capable of having a bad match. So, the German suplex Bianca Belair hit turned Io Sky inside out. It looked good, especially from the camera angle that was used. And Michael Cole reminded us that it was Bailey who faced Kairi Sane in her last WWE appearance. And let's also not forget, Bailey was the one who took out Kairi Sane in the first place. You think Io didn't forget about that? You think Io forgot about that? No. So, oh boy, this is the beginning of some big things here coming. And if you put Io, Asuka, and Kairi together as a brand new Kabuki Warrior faction, business picks up in the SmackDown Women's Division. Big time. And it was reported earlier today by our own Michael Bullock that Kairi Sane has been officially is now officially on SmackDown. So big signing for your boy Nick Aldis, MF. So and business damn sure picks up in the women's division now that you got Kairi Sane, a former the winner of the 2017 Mae Young Classic, as well as a former co-holder of the women's tag team championships with Asuka. So it'll be interesting to see what the Empress thinks of all of this. So who knows? Maybe we'll get some sort of a follow-up Friday night on SmackDown. Who knows? But
yeah, we haven't heard anything from Asuka yet, and she's been pretty mum about the whole thing. We know the closeness of Kyrie and Io, because this actually dates back all the way from Stardom in Japan. So 10 years ago. So these two know each other really well. So I think this was, for them to pair these two together, was an obvious choice. And once again, props to Triple H and the creative for tapping into that well once again. All those fans in Japan who doesn't really follow that story, boy, you get ready. If you can find Stardom on the internet and see them two together, trust me, get some really, really, really good material to work with on that. So nothing more to say.
No, not at all. 3.5 to 3 3/4 of a star. So with all that being said, MF, let's move on to the next match.
Next match we had was the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes versus Damian Priest. Cody Rhodes winning the match in 11 minutes and 5 seconds as he continues on his road to finishing the story, putting Damian Priest away with three crossroads. But Anthony, this was insane. We had so much action, interference. Of course, Judgment Day trying to get the upper hand. It didn't work. Backfire.
Holy backfire, Batman. Yes, indeed. This show had a handful of matches. Excuse me. This show had a handful of matches with interference. So it started to feel played out by the time it happened here. The bout was fine, if a little predictable. Rhodes won after hitting 3 crossroads in a row. 3.25 stars. Priest is always great at making his strikes look like they connect. Cody Rhodes was doing a good job selling his injured ankle. And Damian Priest has a great choke slam. Predictable outcome. We all knew Cody was going to win this match. I'm not surprised Cody won this match. And he now takes one step closer to maybe finishing the story. I want to see it more than anybody. And, we'll have to wait and find out. But for right now, this was a 3.25 star bout. So not much more to say. MF, what's next for the what's next for the American Nightmare? Not even I know that. I mean, I'm hoping that he can distance himself from Judgment Day. But then again, who else is there for him to feud with on Raw other than the Judgment Day, unfortunately?
I think right now they're just trying to find anything or anyone right now until Rumble. And then once he gets to Rumble, then let the chips fall where they may. Obviously, right now, you want to get the big win here. You want to get the outcome. But if they win this battle, yeah, this is exactly what you want to see. So at the end of the day, this will be what it needs to be. So at the end, it's all about Rumble. So you still got to do the Judgment Day, deal with that. Once you get that out of the way, then you get yourself ready for Rumble. But the thing is that you got possible War Games coming up, and it looks like maybe he might be in that. Obviously, it'll be apropos if Cody Rhodes is in War Games, because remember, War Games was in a way a little bit of the brainchild of his father, the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. He was one of the instrumental parts of the creation of War Games when it happened back in '87. So, obviously, that's going to be an interesting dilemma. That's going to be an interesting story. And yeah, there's really nothing more to add. So this is a solid 3-star, 3 to 3.5 star bout. Gives us into the main event of the evening, which was for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. The champion Roman Reigns, the current reign going into that night was 1,161 days, going up against LA Knight, winner of the bout in 20 minutes and 5 seconds. Still the undisputed WWE Universal Champion, Roman Reigns. Solid main event, 3-star bout. It could have been higher. Obviously, I'm punishing it because of the overbook. Yeah, another great matchup, another great bout. LA Knight looked amazing in defeat. You can't be mad about it. I'm just sad that this is how it ends, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. Roman keeps the reign, but LA Knight's got nothing to be ashamed of. He absolutely had a hope spot. There was a moment where I thought he was going to win the title. Obviously, he's got the crowd by his side. It doesn't matter if it's in the United States, doesn't matter if it's Saudi Arabia. The whole world is rooting for LA Knight. It's only going to be a matter of time before he gets a big moment. He doesn't need to be the world champion, guys. I'm going to be real honest with you. The one belt that I think he will be, I think he'll be the one to take the belt off of Logan Paul. And I think he's going to become the next United States heavyweight champion. And if he does, let me tell you, he will be a great U.S. champion. So, Anthony, it is yours.
3.5 for this one. This bout followed the same pattern as most of Roman Reigns' matches. It had long periods of slow action with short sequences sprinkled throughout. For some reason, it just wasn't clicking here the way it has in some of his other feuds, possibly because he and LA Knight don't have much history between them yet. Everything they did looked good, but the way the story was told felt too similar to things we have seen from the Tribal Chief already. Predictably, Solo Sikoa and Jimmy Uso got involved by providing some distractions. LA Knight kicked out of a spear and almost won with his BFT, but Jimmy got Roman's foot on the rope. And then Roman speared LA Knight through the barricade before bringing him back in the ring for another spear for the win. The video package for this match was awesome, but between that and the entrances, it took about 15 minutes to get to this match. The ref just started ignoring the rules after a few minutes so they could do whatever they wanted. And it's always impressive to watch someone jump from the mat all the way to the top rope. Very impressive indeed. That's exactly what I was thinking, about LA Knight. I mean, I do believe LA Knight will be the one to dethrone Logan Paul for the United States Heavyweight Championship. I've heard rumblings that could happen maybe at WrestleMania. So, we'll wait and see what happens with that one. So, oh my goodness, the pop that's going to be a moment when LA Knight eventually does that. So, we'll have to wait and see what. Well, as far as Roman goes, I'm hearing that this is it for him in 2023. I mean, they're saying that he will not be at Survivor Series, and they're saying that possibly his next match won't be until the end of January, the Royal Rumble at Tropicana Field. So we'll wait and see what happens with that. But 3.5 stars for this one. It would have been about 4.25 or so, but it goes down to 3.5 because of the bloodline interference. So which was expected. So so not much more to say here. I believe I start off on the overall review, so I'm just going to get it out of the way right now here. This year's Crown Jewel had its highs and lows, but there were a few moments that stood out as the ones fans will be talking about well in the next week. Logan Paul winning the United States Heavyweight Championship is going to garner WWE some mainstream media attention, but wrestling fans are likely more excited about the return of Kairi Sane. Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre had the fight of the night, but since it happened first, some people might overlook it. There were too many instances of interference on this show, but other than that, nothing extraordinarily bad happened. There might be things to complain about, but there was plenty to enjoy as well. So I think I'll give this a solid 8 out of 10 for this show. So not much more to say on this. So MF, take it home.
Yes, I agree. 8 out of 10 is my rating as well. They did a very good job. I thought they did an incredible job with the show and everything else. So yeah, I really got nothing more to say here. It was definitely well done, great show. Yeah, nothing. Everybody can be very proud of what they did here, and yeah, I got nothing more to say. So we are done for the night. Tomorrow night, Anthony Florio hosts Ridiculously Raw. It is basically Monday Night Raw, and I do believe he got some Impact Wrestling stuff. So
a lot of Impact Wrestling stuff.
Yeah, so
not just last week's edition of Impact Wrestling, but also they did an Impact Plus special that was unbeknownst to me. Usually I'm on top of these things, but this one snuck away from me. They did a special event called Turning Point over in Newcastle. And wait till you hear some of the things that happened on this show.
All right.
Special Tony
Can't wait.
Tomorrow night.
Can't wait. Very excited. All right, guys. So that's it. And that'll be 11 p.m. Eastern, immediately after Raw goes off the air. Then Wednesday night is Wednesday Night Madness. That'll be at 10 p.m. Thursday's College Football Thursday at 10 o'clock. Friday is NFL Friday night. That'll be at 10. And then 1 week from Saturday, we'll do it again, 10:30, the Cerebral Smack Talk. So with that said, we are done. Anthony Florio. For Anthony Florio, I am Michael Fletcher, saying so long, everybody, and we'll see you all tomorrow night.
Goodbye.